What if the tides of fate were ready to sweep everything you love away? Welcome to Eldermere, a coastal village shrouded in fear, where danger lurks beneath the surface of the sea, and whispers of an impending storm grow louder. Meet Mira, a young leader who must confront the ruthless Kael and his crew as they threaten her home. With the safety of her community hanging in the balance, she embarks on a perilous journey to forge alliances and uncover hidden truths. The stakes have never been higher. If she fails, her village will fall into chaos. But if she succeeds, something unexpected might rise from the depths. This is Chapter 1 of The Rising Tides. Let the journey begin. Chapter 1. The Gathering Storm.
Mira stares at the entrance of her workshop, the faint light of dawn filtering through the wooden beams. She takes a deep breath, inhaling the familiar sense of sawdust and varnish, mixed with the salty air from the nearby sea. The world outside stirs to life, the sounds of waves crashing, mingling with the distant chatter of villagers, preparing for the festival. With a focused gaze, she steps inside, her heart racing, in anticipation of the day ahead. On her workbench, her latest project, a finely crafted boat, sits under a layer of protective fabric. The gentle curves and intricate details reflect her skill and dedication, symbols of her dreams. Mira picks up her tools, her fingers brushing over the smooth surfaces, feeling a sense of pride swell within her. Today is not just another day. It marks the culmination of her hard work and aspirations. She can already envision her boat displayed at the festival, drawing admiration and respect from her fellow villagers. As she begins to prepare for the festival, time seems to stretch before her. The cheers from the village float through the open door, and she can already see the vibrant decorations adorning the streets. The excitement in the air is palpable, yet a hint of apprehension lingers in her mind, whispering doubts about whether her craftsmanship will be enough to stand out. Mira shakes off the unsettling thoughts, reminding herself of the countless hours spent molding and shaping the wood, pouring her heart into every detail. Today she vows to embrace her passion and share it with others, letting her work speak for itself.
As Mira continues working, the sound of footsteps breaks through her concentration. She glances up to see Rowan entering, his familiar grin illuminating the space.
"Mira, you have to come see this," he calls out, excitement lacing his voice.
Mira sets her tools down, curiosity piqued. "What is it?" Rowan gestures animatedly behind him, his enthusiasm infectious. "You won't believe the decorations for the festival this year. They've outdone themselves." With a hesitant smile, Mira wipes her hands on her apron. The festival is a cherished tradition, and she always appreciates the effort the village puts into celebrating their community. "Just give me a moment to finish up here," she replies, scanning her workspace to ensure everything is in order. Rowan steps closer, peering at her latest boat, his eyes widening in admiration.
"This is fantastic. You've really put your heart into it."
Mira feels a warmth spread through her at his words, but a flicker of doubt tugs at her. "Do you really think it'll stand out?"
"Of course. With this kind of craftsmanship, everyone will be talking about it,"
he reassures her, though she notes a hint of uncertainty in his eyes. As Mira returns to her work, the excitement of the festival briefly eclipses her worries. She applies the final strokes of varnish, her mind battling between the thrill of sharing her creation and the fear of being judged. "Let's go. We can't miss the fun," Rowan urges, breaking through her contemplation. With a resigned sigh and a hopeful smile, Mira finally relents, allowing herself to step outside her workshop and into the vibrant world of the village, eager to experience the festivities. As they make their way through the village, Mira is struck by the vibrant colors decorating every corner. Streamers of fabric flutter in the breeze, and laughter rings out, as children dart between stalls filled with treats and crafts. Mira feels excitement bubbling within her, a sharp contrast to the earlier unease. Yet, as they approach the town square, a shadow catches her eye. A group of older villagers huddle together, whispering among themselves, casting wary glances toward the sea. Rowan notices her distraction. "What's wrong?" he asks, tilting his head to follow her gaze. "I don't know," Mira admits, squinting at the gathering. "It's just, they seem uneasy." As they pass, Mira overhears snippets of conversation. Words about storms on the horizon and strange ships spotted along the coast. Her heart races as a hint of dread creeps in, contrasting sharply with the festive atmosphere around her. "Come on, let's enjoy the day." Rowan nudges her, stepping closer to the bustling square filled with joyous villagers. But Mira can't shake the feeling that something isn't right. She works to push the thoughts aside, focusing on the laughter and excitement. Still, a knot forms in her stomach, intertwining with the joy of the festival. As they join the crowd, Mira forces a smile, determined to immerse herself in the festivities. Yet the lingering whispers reverberate in her mind, casting a shadow over her anticipation, hinting at a deeper current beneath the surface of celebration. As they reach the town square, Mira feels the jubilant atmosphere enveloping her. Vendors call out, enticing festival-goers with fragrant dishes, colorful decorations, and handcrafted treasures. The energy is contagious, and she allows herself to be pulled into the excitement. However, her gaze shifts back to the group of older villagers who still stand apart, their expressions painted with frowns. One elderly woman catches Mira's eye, her face lined with worry as she stares toward the horizon. "Do you think they know something we don't?" Mira mutters to Rowan, concern creeping into her voice. "Probably just worried about the usual tales of the sea," he replies dismissively, but Mira senses his unease. The playful mood around them contrasts sharply with the whispers from the older generation. Despite the fun, a subtle heaviness lingers in Mira's chest, hinting at the turbulence beneath the surface of festivity. She recalls stories her grandmother told of ships that came to harbor not with friendly sails, but with hidden intentions. As the festival unfolds around her, Mira tries to immerse herself, participating in games with children and enjoying tastes of local treats. Yet her thoughts drift back to the old woman and what she might know. With every laugh and cheer echoing in the square, Mira feels the tension in her gut grow. It's as if the cheers of celebration are muffled by an awareness of what may lie ahead, overshadowing the joy of the day. She makes a silent vow to dig deeper into the whispers, determined to uncover the truth lurking behind the smiles. As the festivities continue, Mira feels a pull to explore the village further, her heart torn between joy and unease. She leads Rowan through the animated crowd, their laughter ringing in her ears. They stop at a games booth where children are enthusiastically trying to knock over stacked cans. Mira smiles, watching the delight on their faces as they cheer for their friends, momentarily distracting her from the weight of her earlier thoughts. After a while, she turns to Rowan. "How about we join in? It might help take my mind off things." Rowan hesitates, but then grins, tossing her a playful challenge. "Okay, but if I win, you owe me one of your famous boats." Mira laughs, feeling the tension slowly dissipate as they take turns at the booth, their friendly competition a welcome distraction from the worries that remained in her mind. As they play, she catches sight of the elderly woman again, still standing apart, observing the festivities with an intense gaze. Curiosity strikes her, compelling Mira to approach the woman after their game. "Excuse me," she says, her voice warm yet firm. "I couldn't help but notice you watching. Are you enjoying the festival?" The woman turns slowly, her eyes reflecting years of wisdom mixed with concern. "It's a lively event, child, but you would do well to heed the water's warnings." Mira feels a chill run down her spine. The woman's words hang in the air, pulling her out of the playful moment. "What do you mean?" she asks, intrigued yet anxious. With a knowing look, the woman speaks softly. "Not all ships bring cheer to the shore. Be cautious of what lies beneath the surface." Mira nods, absorbing the cryptic caution, but before she can ask more, the woman walks away, leaving her with a sense of urgency. The vibrant festival suddenly feels clouded by uncertainty. As Rowan returns to her side,
Mira realizes that the day's festivities might hold deeper currents than she initially understood. The tension mingles with the jubilant atmosphere, leaving her more compelled to dig deeper into the village's secrets. With the festival continuing around her, Mira feels a surge of determination to piece together the fragments of information she's gathered. The pulse of laughter and music thrums in her ears, but her focus narrows to the whispers of caution she's encountered. "Let's find out more," she says to Rowan, her voice steady. The thrill of uncovering more about the recent events stirs excitement within her. Rowan raises an eyebrow, sensing the shift in her demeanor. "You mean about the old woman's warning? You really think there might be something to it?" "Absolutely," Mira replies, her excitement palpable. "The village has always had secrets about the sea. I can feel it." She glances around, gauging the villagers' interactions, trying to catch snippets of conversation that might lead to answers. Mira leads Rowan toward the edge of the festival, where groups gather in quieter conversations. As they approach a cluster of fishermen sharing stories, she leans in, eager to listen. "Did you hear about those strange ships spotted near the coast?" one fisherman whispers, his tone cautious. "They say they're not what they seem." Mira feels a rush of adrenaline. The warning she received echoes in her mind. She subtly moves closer, intent on gathering more information, while pretending to admire the fishing equipment laid out nearby. Rowan nudges her, murmuring, "Maybe we should get a little closer." But just then, another villager, overhearing their conversation, suddenly interjects, "Don't get too curious, girl. Best not to stir things you can't put back." While her pulse quickens, with both concern and determination, Mira responds with poise. "I just want to know what's really happening out there. Isn't it better to understand?" The villagers exchange wary glances, impressing upon Mira the importance of caution. Despite the warnings, she feels a desire to chase the truth swelling within her. As they prepare to move on, Mira glances back at the bustling festival, still filled with laughter. But now a nagging doubt accompanies the fun. She understands that the shadows hidden within the celebration demand attention. Her heart beats with resolution. She knows she must seek the truth and ensure the safety of the village. Chapter 2: The Unexpected Visitor. Mira finds herself standing at the edge of the festival the next day, the vibrant sounds of laughter and music fading into the background as she prepares to leave the village. The excitement that once surrounded her now feels like a distant memory, overshadowed by the sense of urgency pushing her forward. As she gathers her belongings, she meticulously checks her supplies, ensuring she has everything needed for the journey. The reassuring weight of her tools feels familiar in her hands, a reminder of her craft and the dedication she has poured into her work. Her heart races as she makes her way through the village square, where preparations for the festival continue in full swing. Colorful banners flutter in the breeze, but Mira's focus remains razor-sharp on her mission. The warning from the old woman lingers in her thoughts. She catches sight of Rowan approaching, determination written across his face. "Are you ready?" he asks, a hint of reservation creeping into his voice. "Ready as I'll ever be," Mira replies, her voice steady, even as uncertainty tugs at the edges of her confidence. With one last look around, she feels the weight of the village's dependencies on her shoulders. She knows this journey could change everything, not just for her, but for everyone back home. Together they step toward the outskirts of the village, where the trees stand tall and the path twists into the unknown. The thrill of adventure courses through her veins, but so does a sense of responsibility. Every step deeper into the forest is a commitment to her quest, a promise to uncover the truth behind the warnings and to protect the community she loves. As they enter the thick embrace of the forest, Mira takes a moment to absorb the changing environment around her. The air grows cooler, dappled sunlight filtering through the leaves overhead, casting playful shadows on the forest floor. She exchanges glances with Rowan, who looks both eager and apprehensive, navigating the uneven terrain. "Do you think we'll find anything?" he asks, glancing back at her with a hint of doubt. Definitely, Mira responds, her voice steady. Fueled by determination. We just have to pay attention and stay focused. Mira begins to observe her surroundings carefully, listening to the sounds of rustling leaves and distant animal calls. She recalls the stories of the woods shared by her grandmother, tales that speak of nature's whispers holding secrets of the past. As they move deeper into the woods, Mira spots signs of life, twisted roots, vibrant mushrooms, and the faint traces of wildlife. She feels invigorated by the prospect of discovery, knowing that these elements may become vital clues in their quest. Suddenly, she stumbles upon an odd formation of rocks that resemble a circle, partially concealed by foliage. Curiosity stirs within her, and she gestures for Rowan to come closer, intrigued by the potential significance of this find. Look at this, she says, kneeling down to examine the rocks. It might be a marker or something. Rowan studies the formation, his expression shifting to one of interest. Could be, he replies. Maybe it's related to the stories. Mira feels a surge of excitement. Her instincts tell her this could be more than just a curiosity. The realization that they might be onto something gives her energy as she carefully inspects the surrounding area for further clues, ready to adapt her approach based on what they discover. Let's search around here for anything else that stands out, she suggests. Driving forth with her newfound conviction, the thrill of exploration encourages her, and she moves with purpose, determined to unlock the mysteries this forest holds. As Mira and Rowan examine the rock formation, they notice subtle markings etched into the stones, a series of symbols that seem to tell a story of their own. The excitement of discovery pulses between them, igniting curiosity about their potential meaning. This looks ancient, Mira says, running her fingers along the grooves. It could be a warning, or maybe a way to remember something that happened here. Rowan kneels beside her, studying the markings with scrutiny. We should take notes and maybe sketch them. This could be vital to understanding what's happening with Kael and his crew. As they work together, Mira feels a flicker of camaraderie. Their shared curiosity reinforces their bond, allowing them to bounce ideas off one another. Just then, a rustling from the underbrush catches their attention, the sound unnerving Mira and causing her instincts to sharpen. Did you hear that? Mira whispers, her earlier excitement turning to alertness. Rowan nods, his posture rigid. We need to be cautious. It could be anything, but we should be ready just in case. Mira glances around, her heart racing as she considers the consequences of their presence in an unfamiliar territory. This duality of excitement and anxiety propels her forward. Every moment is a lesson in vigilance. As they carefully shift their focus back to the symbols, an unfamiliar voice interrupted their thoughts, echoing deep within the trees. What are you two doing? Startled, Mira and Rowan turned to see a young girl with bright eyes peering at them from between the trees. She looks both curious and wary, her presence a mix of threat and opportunity. We're just exploring, Mira replies, aiming to ease the apprehension in the air. Do you know what these markings mean? The girl's expression shifts. She approaches cautiously, intrigued by their interest, but holding a guarded demeanor. Those are stories about the elders,
warnings of the ones who come from the sea. Mira's pulse quickens. This chance encounter could unlock more understanding about their mission. However, she also senses the girl's hesitance, aware that trust must be earned in these woods. "Can you tell us more?" Mira asks, keeping her voice gentle and open. Intrigued by their interest, but holding a guarded demeanor. "Those are stories about the elders, warnings of the ones who come from the sea." Mira's pulse quickens. This chance encounter could unlock more understanding about their mission. However, she also senses the girl's hesitance, aware that trust must be earned in these woods. "Can you tell us more?" Mira asks, wanting to engage the young girl, while making it clear they respect her knowledge. As the girl hesitates, unsure of how much to share, Mira feels the stakes heighten. Not only is their mission at risk, but the need to build relationships in this new environment weighs heavily on her. The girl steps closer, her curiosity battling with caution. "You shouldn't be here," she finally says, her voice low yet firm. "The woods aren't safe for strangers." Mira raises her hands slightly in a gesture of peace. "We don't mean any harm. We're looking for answers about the ships that have been seen nearby. We just want to help." The girl examines Mira closely, gauging her sincerity. "Help how?" she asks, skepticism evident in her tone. Mira leans in, lowering her voice. "There are villagers missing, and we believe they've been taken. We want to understand what's happening so we can protect everyone." The weight of Mira's words hangs in the air. The girl's expression softens slightly, though tension still lingers. "You won't find what you're looking for without knowing the dangers," she retorts, crossing her arms. Rowan steps forward, sensing the dynamics shifting. "What do you know about these dangers?" he asks, trying to bridge the gap between their intentions and the girl's protective instinct. "There are things in these woods that you can't see," she answers, her voice lowering. "Things that can change how you see the world. Things that twisted the elders into not recognizing the sea anymore." Mira's intrigue increases, her mind racing with possibilities. "Then we need to learn what those things are," she says decisively, feeling a sense of urgency to uncover the truth.
The girl's eyes widen slightly. If you really want to help, you need to be prepared, she warns, leaning closer, revealing a flicker of trust. I can show you the way, but you have to promise to listen. Mira nods firmly, exhilarated by the prospect of gaining valuable knowledge. We promise. In this moment, a connection begins to form between them, and Mira senses that their willingness to embrace this unknown path could lead to the answers they seek. The girl's eyes widen slightly. If you really want to help, you need to be prepared. I can show you the way, but you have to promise to listen. Mira nods firmly, exhilarated by the prospect of gaining valuable knowledge. We promise. In this moment, a connection begins to form between them, and Mira senses that their willingness to embrace this unknown path could lead to the answers they seek. The girl glances over her shoulder, ensuring no one else is watching, before leading Mira and Rowan deeper into the forest. They follow her through thick underbrush and over twisted roots, the sounds of the festival fading behind them. As they walk, she shares stories about the forest and its secrets, her voice growing more animated, revealing local lore about the creatures that dwell within. Mira listens intently, absorbing every word, feeling a connection growing between them. Not everything in the forest is friendly, the girl warns, her tone shifting back to seriousness. You must be careful. Some watch from afar, and others are waiting for intruders. Mira's heart races, and she feels the urgency of their mission, intensified by the girl's warnings. We understand. That's why we're here, to learn and prepare. After a short trek, they arrive at a clearing that opens up under a canopy of towering trees. In the center stands an ancient stone circle, partially hidden by vegetation, radiating an eerie energy that both intrigues and unsettles Mira. This is a sacred place, the girl explains, stepping into the circle. It's where the elders came to commune with the forest. Here, you can seek guidance, but only if you're true in your heart. Mira steps forward, intrigued. She can feel the weight of history in the air. Is this where we can find out more about the ships? She asks earnestly. The girl nods. If you are willing to listen, the forest will share its wisdom. As Mira prepares to engage with the space, she reflects on how far she has traveled and the lessons learned along the way. It feels like an opportunity to solidify her commitment to both her mission and the relationships she's formed. Mira stands in the center of the stone circle, feeling the energy radiate from the ancient stones. The air is thick with anticipation as she closes her eyes, allowing the serenity of the space to wash over her. Focus on what you seek, the girl advises softly, stepping back to give Mira room. The forest responds to pure intentions. Mira takes a deep breath, centering herself. Thoughts of her village, her friends, and their shared commitment to uncovering the truth swirl in her mind. She feels the weight of responsibility on her shoulders and the urgency of her mission. In the stillness, she hears faint whispers, almost like the wind carrying distant voices. It sends a shiver down her spine, but instead of fear, she feels a sense of connection to something greater than herself. With eyes still closed, she opens her heart to the forest, asking for guidance and insight into the ship and those who pose a threat to her village. After a moment of silence, visions flicker behind her lids. She sees shadowy figures moving among the trees, plots forming in the underbrush, and the looming figure of Kael's ship against a stormy horizon, its sails unfurling like ominous flags. Opening her eyes, Mira glances at Rowan and the girl, whose expressions reveal awe and respect.
The intensity of the moment emboldens her, and she realizes that they may be onto something crucial. "Did you see that?" she asks, her voice filled with urgency. "We need to act quickly. I think I understand the ship's intentions now." The girl nods, her earlier skepticism fading. "Then we must prepare. This knowledge could save your village." Mira feels a surge of determination, realizing that the path ahead wouldn't be easy, but now she has insight and allies to guide her.
Chapter 3. The Crucible of Trust. Mira stands at the edge of the forest, her heart pounding in her chest as she prepares to return home after a long day of gathering clues and forging new relationships. The sun casts long shadows across the path, the vibrant sounds of the village festival fading into the background, replaced by the sounds of rustling leaves and chirping birds. Her mind races with thoughts of the discoveries made and the cryptic warnings she received from the villagers. Every piece of information feels vital as she anticipates the consequences that may unfold when she returns to her community. As she steps onto the familiar village path, the weight of her earlier confidence lingers in her chest, but a gnawing sense of apprehension accompanies her. The village feels different now, charged with an energy she can't quite place. A mix of excitement and unease that colors her perception. Approaching her workshop, Mira notices a small group of villagers gathered, their expressions serious and hushed. The sight sends a jolt through her. She wonders if they have heard about her activities or if her absence caused concern. "Hey, Mira," one of them calls out, breaking the heavy silence, drawing her attention. It's Lyra, and she waves urgently, beckoning Mira to join them. As Mira approaches, she catches snippets of conversation discussing the ominous ship and the unease it continues to inspire. She draws closer, straining to hear what they're saying, her pulse quickening with concern. "I just heard from someone who saw it near the coast last night. They say it's armed," a voice remarks, trembling with fear. Mira's heartbeat quickens. "What do you mean armed?" she interjects, her voice stronger than she feels. She steps into the circle, a sense of urgency bubbling within her. "Some believe it's tying in with the old stories," Lyra explains, glancing at the ground. "The ones about raiders who came to take our ships." The conversations shift as she joins, the atmosphere heavy with uncertainty. Mira can feel the weight of their fears pressing down on her, reminding her of her commitment to protect her village. They look to her, their eyes searching for reassurance. Taking a deep breath, she resolves to gather her strength. "We need to address this," she declares, feeling the shift in her responsibilities crystallize. "And we need to act far more strategically than we have before." As the villagers murmur, Mira feels their apprehension weighing heavily in the air. She casts her eyes over the group, noting the tension etched in their faces. They are looking to her for guidance, and she knows she must respond decisively. "We need to gather more information before jumping to conclusions," she suggests, raising her voice with confidence to pierce through the anxiety. "Let's find out exactly what this ship is doing before we act." Murmurs of agreement ripple through the crowd, though several hesitant looks linger. Mira raises her hand to quiet the group. "I want us to work together. We need to establish a watch to monitor the ship's movements, and I will lead that effort." Rowan steps forward, visibly supportive. "I'll help coordinate the watch groups," he offers, his tone encouraging. "We can split up and keep an eye on the ship from different locations." Mira feels a rush of gratitude for his dedication, but doubts still flicker in a few faces. A younger villager named Thomas hesitates, voicing concern. "What if they catch us? What if we provoke them?" Mira meets his gaze, sensing the fear behind his question. "Then we will have the information we need to act wisely," she reassures him. "It's better to know what we're up against than to ignore it. We've trained for this." The murmurs of uncertainty continue, but are mixed with a flicker of determination, as more villagers express their willingness to support her plan. Mira feels the weight of her role as a leader solidifying, as they begin to rally around her voice. With her plan taking shape, she lays out specific tasks for organizing the watches
and ensuring supplies are secured for the coming days. Her heart swells with a sense of purpose.
This feels like a turning point. We will ride this out as a community,
Mira says firmly. Together, we'll protect our home and uncover the truth about this new threat.
Mira leads the villagers to a nearby hill that overlooks the beach, providing a vantage point to monitor the ship anchored in the cove. The group forms a line, each person settling into their assigned spot with a mix of excitement and tension. Once in position, Mira takes a moment to scan the scene before her. The ship, still and ominous against the backdrop of the darkening sky, sends shivers down her spine. She knows Kael's presence could pose great danger, and every villager's safety rests on the information they gather today. Remember, she instructs, turning to face the team. If you see any movement or activity, keep your distance, but report back immediately. We need to stay under their radar. Rowan nods, standing beside her, clearly supportive while also scanning the surroundings for any signs of danger. Mira feels grateful for his presence. His steadfastness boosts her confidence as she directs the group. As the villagers settle into their roles, Mira notices Thomas lingering at the edge of the group, uncertainty clouding his expression. She walks over to him, sensing the weight of his worries. "Are you all right?" she asks softly, her tone inviting. I don't know if I'm cut out for this," he admits, glancing nervously toward the ship. "What if they spot us?" Mira takes a deep breath, recalling her own fears when she first encountered unexpected dangers. It's okay to feel scared. But remember, we're not alone and we're prepared. You have a role to play in this, just like everyone else. His expression shifts slightly as hope begins to creep in. "You really think we can do this?" "Yes," Mira replies firmly, meeting his gaze. "We can and we will. We've trained for this, and I believe in all of you." Taking a step back, she glances around at the other villagers, feeling a swell of pride at their readiness. Mira knows that overcoming individual fears begins with trust. Trust among allies and trust in their abilities. With the sun dipping toward the horizon, casting a warm glow across the water, Mira feels an electric energy buzz in the air. Uncertainty remains, but she recognizes that this moment defines their resolve, shaping their path as a community ready to confront the challenges looming ahead. As they settle into their lookout positions, Mira feels the air thicken with anticipation, each heartbeat echoing the rhythm of the crashing waves below. She turns her attention back to the ship, now cloaked in the soft shadows of evening, more foreboding than before. Suddenly, a shout breaks the quiet from one of the villagers, stationed a little further left. An urgent whisper carries over to Mira. "They're moving. The crew is coming out." Mira's heart skips. She signals everyone to remain silent and watches closely, her instincts kicking in. The crew members on the ship begin to gather, their voices carried on the breeze, but the words are too soft for her to decipher. "Everyone be alert," Mira whispers, her voice steady, as she scans the activity on the ship with sharpened focus. Rowan keeps his eyes trained on the scene, tension running through him. "Do you think they're up to something?" Before Mira can respond, Elira, observing the crew carefully, chimes in. "They might be preparing to head out. If they do, it could change everything for us." Mira nods, realizing the stakes are escalating. They need to act quickly. "We should decide now whether we want to follow them or stay here," she urges, glancing at each ally. Several villagers express reluctance, voicing their fears about drawing attention to themselves, while others agree that pursuing the crew might reveal vital information about Kael's intentions. Feeling the conflict mounting, Mira takes a deep breath, drawing on her leadership skills. "If we wait too long, we'll lose our chance. We need to capitalize on this opportunity." Rowan's expression softens, and he looks at Mira with a mix of admiration and concern. "If we decide to follow them, we should probably organize ourselves better. Maintain distance." Mira acknowledges his point, sensing a shift in the group dynamic. "Then let's divide into two teams. One will track them from the shore, while the other keeps watch for any signs of danger." As they break off hurriedly into their roles, Mira feels the tightness in her chest ease slightly. Adapting quickly to the unfolding circumstances, she realizes that the trust she's built within this group is essential in navigating these pressing challenges. The ship's crew begins to move off. Mira feels a rush of adrenaline, knowing this moment will define their collective future. With her heart racing, she whispers one final encouragement to her allies. Let's stick together and make sure everyone stays safe. The group split up, each team taking on their assigned roles, and excitement coursing through Mira as she prepares to follow the path under the cover of darkness. Mira and her team move along the shoreline, staying low and keeping their eyes fixed on the distant ship. The sound of waves crashing against the rocks mingles with the rustling of leaves in the breeze, an eerie soundtrack to their stealthy approach. They navigate the terrain quietly, Mira leading the way with careful steps. She uses the shadows to her advantage, her instincts sharp as she watches for any movement on the ship. The tension among her allies is palpable, each step heavy with anticipation. Stay close and watch each other's backs, she whispers, glancing back at her companions. Each one nods, their expressions reflecting the urgency and communal solidarity driving them forward. As they near the location where the crew assembled, Mira motions for everyone to crouch behind a cluster of rocks, taking a moment to survey the scene. She squints to see if any of the crew members display the maps they previously identified, hoping to gather more information. Rowan whispers, "What if they see us?" Mira shakes her head. "They're preoccupied. We have to capitalize on this moment. If we can get closer, we may pick up more about their plans." Mira feels a surge of confidence. The collective trust and shared purpose among her allies inspire her to take calculated risks. She breathes deeply, reminding herself of their shared goal. Suddenly, the ship's crew starts loading supplies into smaller boats, their movements urgent. Mira's heart races. She realizes this could be the critical moment to act. "Now or never," she urges, gesturing for her team to inch closer and keep their eyes open for anything valuable that could inform their next steps. The increasing stakes heighten the intensity of the moment. She understands that every decision will impact their futures. With their focus sharpened, they creep forward, ready to uncover what new revelations await them on this precarious venture. Mira signals her team to halt as they inch closer, keenly aware that the crew is now actively loading supplies onto small boats. The sight of the supplies sends adrenaline coursing through her veins. This could reveal crucial information about Kael's operations. "Look," Mira whispers urgently, pointing towards a stack of crates labeled with unfamiliar symbols. "We need to find out what those contain." Rowan nods, eyes fixed on the busy crew. "We should get closer, but we need to be careful. If they spot us..." Before he can finish, the sound of laughter erupts from the crew, their camaraderie evident as they load their boats. For a moment, the tension eases, presenting an unexpected opportunity. Mira motions for the others to follow her as they cautiously maneuver behind a nearby outcropping. The rocks provide some cover, but she can't shake the feeling that danger still lurks nearby. Just then, as Mira stands on her toes to get a better look, one of the crew members glances in their direction. The knot in her stomach tightens and she freezes, motioning for everyone to remain quiet. "Do you think they saw us?" Rowan whispers, a hint of panic creeping into his voice. Mira shakes her head. "I think we're still safe, but we need to act quickly. If we can quietly gather some information before they leave, it will be worth the risk." With a deep breath, she formulates a plan, indicating that they should split up again to cover more ground. "Rowan, you and Alira circle around to the right. I'll stay here and listen in on their conversation," she instructs, her voice steadying as she takes charge. The group nods, each member preparing to follow her directives. Mira's confidence swells. She recognizes that her leadership blends not just strategy, but also intuition developed from their experiences. As they break apart, the surrounding sounds of the crew fade into the background of her thoughts. Mira focuses her attention on the men on the boat,
determined to uncover the truth behind Kael's intentions. Every breath feels like a crucial decision as she remains poised, ready to adapt based on the information she gathers. In this moment, she understands that the stakes are higher than ever, and each choice they make could define their futures.